So this is the day one lesson plan. The goal or objective of the day. I will understand the basic steps to pitch an idea and plan for meeting with my company. So just for the warm up, you might just have them turn and talk when you're trying to convince someone, like asking your parents for permission or a teacher or a friend to do something for you or to allow something. What is their approach? Have them sort of share out and then say, okay, there's probably a lot of things that we do naturally, but we're going to make sure that we are thinking strategically about how to get those convenios and those contract signs and meeting with our companies. So you'll have them open up their notes document. I've been calling this cycle Justice and Project Development. Title this section of the notes presenting your ISC to your company. You'll give them this slide of notes. It's important to study your audience. Be sure to touch on why you like their company, sort of hit on this idea that like you want to flatter them, you want to open with their ego of why you were with their company. Then you want to perfect your elevator pitch, which we're going to talk about in the next slide, but just tell them that. We're going to talk about this in a second, guys, but you're going to want to perfect your elevator pitch. Then make it hard for them to say no, meaning anticipate all the logistics. Make sure that you know the expectations of the ISC. They're going to ask, well, what does this mean of me? 40 hours and a professional sponsor, providing 40 hours of work on the site, professional sponsor. Make sure you have the convenio ready and be prepared to explain it. Tell them we'll go back to that, but let's talk about first what's an elevator pitch. So there's a choice board in Schoology. There'll be a folder that says ISC presenting to the company / data gathering. They'll access this choice board. There's 2 articles and 4 videos. So I'm going to tell the students that they have 15 minutes to watch or read 2 of the available resources, and that while they're doing that, that they need to take notes while they need to take notes while they are using the resources. So like in their notebooks, they should be taking notes around what they're learning about. And then after about 15 minutes, you can give them less depending on your class. Ask a few folks what are some key ideas. Emphasizing that maybe there isn't necessarily one right formula for an elevator pitch. The articles are going to argue maybe different approaches or formulas. So there isn't one right formula, but what are some of the key ideas of what you should be doing in an elevator pitch? And then we're going to have them put it to practice. So I'm going to have every student write on an index card silently one thing they think that all schools should have, but that we currently don't have at TCS. So this can be a type of class that all schools should offer. It could be a physical space like a nap time room. It can be a food request like all schools should have a taco bar. It can be like a human resources. All schools should have some sort of life coach or meditation coach or something. Give them examples. So have everyone silently write down what all schools should have, and then collect them after like 2-3 minutes. And then I'm going to collect them all, and then what I'll do is I'll shuffle them up and pass them back out to students. So I'll just kind of go around and say, okay, pick one without looking. Tell them they have 5 minutes to come up with an elevator pitch for that idea. So whatever they picked, they're caught in an elevator with the school director. They have 5 minutes to come up with what they would put on their elevator pitch. They might look back at their notes, tell them to write their ideas on the back of the index card. So you'll give them like anywhere from like 3 to 5 minutes depending on your class. I just put 5 minutes in the notes, but it can be less. And then you can have them break into partners. You can have them, this is again the context of your class and your students. I'm going to have my students do an inside-outside circle. So I'll split them into 2 circles so that there's 4 on the inside, 4 on the outside, 5 on the inside, 5 on the outside with the other group. So then there's a picture here, so it looks like this. So they're facing each other. I'll have one of 4 inside, 4 outside, one of 5 inside, 5 outside facing each other. And I'm going to say, okay, we're going to actually just practice this today. 45 seconds, go. Give your elevator pitch for your card. After 45 seconds, stop. All right, outside circle, give feedback. You have to give feedback like this. One thing I really liked was, one thing I suggest is. Then switch and repeat, meaning the outside circle gives the pitch, inside circle gives feedback, and then we'll rotate the whole circle with the inside moving. I imagine just doing it twice. You can just have them break off into partners and then switch partners. I just want to do the circles for a little bit more structure for my class. Then we'll have them return to their seat and hit some frequently asked questions. Should I put together a Google or PowerPoint slide to my company? Yes, it's helpful. Why not? Why wouldn't you? If you're confident that you don't need one, it's up to you, but I would say yes, it's helpful. Does every group member need to get the convenio signed? No, 1 per group is fine. And then where do I get the convenio? I was going to print them out, but I realized that doesn't make sense because it's 1 per group, and so we don't know who is going to have them from my class or your guys' classes. So, oops, that return to your seats should be here. So I'm just going to have them, or we should all just have them print their own off. So that this next slide that I'm going to go back to here in a second shows where they need to print it. So it's saying you need to print your own copy. It doesn't make sense for us to print them, like I said, because I won't know if I printed it. It could just wasting paper, because I might print some for my students, but then you're also printing for yours, but we have kids working in the same groups. So you'll need to print a copy of the Conference for your group to bring to the company. You can find it here, which is basically, I just took a screenshot of this right here so that they know where to find it. And that's it. That will get you through day 1. So for day 2, the goal is, or the objective is, I will learn from experts on presentation on how to improve my presentation skills. This is actually really a similar lesson plan to day 1 with just like a little added touch. So for the start of the day, you're actually going to have them do a lot of learning on their own. You're going to tell them to get their headphones out, and that there's an article that they're going to access on Schoology that says 16 ways to dramatically improve your presentation skills. I like this article. I've used it in the past because it's a quick, really easy tips, like really short little tips. So 16 sounds like a lot, but they're all very, very short. Like if you see here, harness the power of genuine emotion, but then there's an explanation. Have a secondary goal. So I like how it keeps it short, but then provides background knowledge. So you're going to have them open up their notes document so they can take notes, tell them to read the article, take the notes on the 16 tips, and then that they need to pick from the 16 tips which one of those TED Talks stood out to them the most and watch one. So they'll have 25 minutes to do that. So it's going to be just silent in your classroom for 25 minutes because they'll be taking notes and watching a TED Talk. Then let them know that the reason that they're doing that is because we're going to go back to some quick, like, round robin practicing elevator pitches, but considering these new tips and trying to practice these new skills. So let's put it to practice. It's the same exact activity from day 1, but with a different prompt. So you're going to give everyone an index card, write down one product you want to see in the future. This one, it's more to have fun with it, like really thinking into the future. I want to see flying cars. I want to see mind reading. It can be totally ridiculous and magical. They can write something totally fantastical that they wish that they could have in the future. Then it's elevator pitching. So you're going to tell them, okay, so now we're going to do the same thing from yesterday, except this time we're going to give you a little bit more time. I'm going to give you this completely ridiculous idea and you have to figure out how to pitch it. But you have 8 minutes. You're going to not only try to think about the elevator pitch model, so that quick, like 60-second model, but you're also trying to think of, 8 minutes feels like a lot. Let's do 6 minutes. You're also going to try to pick one of the tips you learned from the TED Talk article and see how you can incorporate that into practice in today's round robin elevator pitches. So you'll give them 6 minutes to kind of like think about their idea, to write notes on the back of their index card in the elevator pitch model, and then also to try to incorporate one of the tips from the article that they read from this article that they read at the beginning of class. Then, same exact thing, you can do partners. I'll probably repeat inside, outside circle, same process, outside circle, inside circle goes, outside circle feedback, switch, rotate circle. And that will take you all the way through day 2. I'll add an exit ticket here about what is one new thing you learned about giving presentations in the last 2 days. And you can have them return to their seats and write that on a post-it note or turn and talk or some version of that. But that will be the exit ticket for day 2. And then I'll send a separate video because I don't want this video to get too long. The other 2 days, so day 3 and 4, we're going to look at data. And we're going to be talking to them about how are they going to use proper use of data to measure their goals, but I'll make a separate video for that because that will be day 3 and 4. So day 1 and 2, which is what this video is about, is all about pitching an idea and working on their presentation skills.